Cornell hasn't just won games, they have dominated games to get to the Sweet 16 for the first time for an Ivy League school since 1979. But now they get the team that, with Kansas gone, is the prohibitive favorite to win the 2010 NCAA title. Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be alongside Compass Media and MSG Network college basketball insider Jon Rothstein. And John, this ball game I think has the most intrigue of any game heading into the Sweet 16.
And the person who's most happy about that, John Calipari. He's been searching for new ways to motivate his basketball team because when you think about it, being at Kentucky and a Royal College basketball power is something new to John Calipari. He's not at UMass anymore. He's not at Memphis with the us against the world mentality. He is supposed to be where he is, but he also is going to relish the fact that he's going into a situation where Cornell has the nation behind them and they're playing in the Carrier Dome about an hour away from their campus.
That was the other part I was going to ask you about this game because, I mean, there's plenty to get to, and we will in a sec, but, you know, this will feel like a home game for Cornell, and if they can stay in it, like the crowd that Northern Iowa had in Oklahoma City, they'll have the crowd behind them as well.
They will. Now, I do think Kentucky is going to travel because they travel as well as any program in college basketball, but at the end of the day, if you're Cornell and you want to think about the way to pull the upset, do what you've been doing throughout the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament. The best thing about the Big Red, because they're such an experienced team, is they get out of the gate early. Throughout the first 4 minutes of each of their first-round games against Temple and Wisconsin, they build a big lead right away. That's a big reason why they've been able to have so much success.
And the seniors have done so much for this team, not only getting them to a tournament for a third straight year, but you're talking about the way that Ryan Whitman is playing, and Jeff Foote inside, and Lewis Dale. But you think the latter of those three is the most important.
Lewis Dale is the straw that stirs the drink for Cornell, and I really think that he will be the focal point of Kentucky's defensive attack. I'm really looking forward to Eric Bledsoe, who plays sometimes so physically is more of a pit bull than a basketball player, going mano-a-mano with Lewis Dale. And if you're this Kentucky team right now, you have to relish the opportunity to go into the Carrier Dome and play a team like Cornell. Sometimes if you are the hunted, you never really get to feel like you're the hunter. That could change if you're Kentucky on Thursday.
A little bit, especially with the fact that, as you mentioned, the entire nation will be behind Cornell in this ball game. But one issue here for the Big Red, a lot of issues heading into this game for the Big Red, but one specifically, Temple, Wisconsin, they're not the best inside teams. Kentucky with DeMarcus Cousins and Patrick Patterson, one of the best inside teams.
Jason, that's one big factor. Another factor, Cornell does not play at a slow pace. They play very frenetically, and you better believe that's the way Kentucky wants to play. And make no mistake about it, Kentucky throughout the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament has been an absolute buzzsaw. They're not killing opponents, they're decimating opponents. And you better believe that they think the Big Red is just another stop to Indianapolis for the Wildcats.
And to beat Wake Forest by 30 and it make it actually seem like a much worse game than that says something. All right, it's Thursday night, it's in Syracuse. Who you taking?
Got to go with the Big Blue.
All right, Big Blue instead of the Big Red. We'll see how it all plays out from the Carrier Dome. For Jon Rothstein, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.